Now, I don't know if this is a rumor or not, but Boxing News 24 is the only one reporting this. They're saying Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence rematch, and it works for February. Now, like I told you before, this is the Pro PBC boxing page, so they use this article just to rip on Terrence Crawford once again. But I heard yesterday on the Boxing Voice that the winner of the Mendoza-Tszyu fight is in line to fight Terrence Crawford next. But I only heard that on the Boxing Voice. I haven't seen any articles on it. I heard Tszyu talking about he wants all the big fights after Mendoza, but he didn't just specifically say Terrence Crawford. He also said Canelo and Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo. And if Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence decide to do the rematch, after the rematch, I would love to see Tim Tszyu, if he gets past Mendoza, fight Terrence Crawford. Now, Tim Tszyu said he would fight Crawford and Canelo because it'll be good for his legacy. But the guy he wants after Mendoza is still Jermell Charlo. He thinks Jermell Charlo has more holes than those two fighters. And I think Jermell knows he has holes, and that's why he will not take the fight. But I like that path for Terrence Crawford. Fight Tim Tszyu or Mendoza, whoever wins that fight, and then take the belts from Jermell Charlo, whatever he has at this point, because it looks like he's going to be stripped again. And of course, I'm not his manager or anything. I'm just a fan. I'd like to see Terrence Crawford be undisputed at 154 because the PBC does not like Bud. Let's keep it real. And I think the PBC wants their traditional fighters to get the last two fights. So from the outside looking in, it does not seem like Terrence Crawford is going to get Canelo in 2024. So why not fight Tszyu and Jermell to stack up your legacy even higher? I heard some clown on Twitter talking about he should fight Keith Thurman and Danny Garcia. That does nothing for his legacy. Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Again, fuck Canelo! But listen, Canelo's a great fighter. I'm not looking forward to sit there and depend on Canelo, because that's just not how it goes. He has the luxury to do whatever he wants to do. People, themselves, and reporters and journalists and all the other people has to get Canelo to want to take the winner or the loser of this fight, because at the end of the day, it's two top elite guys that can rumble with anybody. Yeah, he talking shit. Payday this, I'm a horrible fighter, and then people send me things about him. Somebody asked him a question about, what about David Benavidez, Demetrius Andrade? Then he goes 50-50 fight. So how am I a horrible fighter and then fighting David Benavidez is a 50-50 fight? Disrespecting me in the way he did, it was just like, fuck you, bitch.
You know the funny thing about YouTube boxing community? Andrade tells us how his name's supposed to be said, and they still say his name wrong. But anyway, Andrade, Benavidez both agreed that whoever wins this fight is the best at 168 over Canelo Alvarez. And of course, I don't agree with them because Demetrius Andrade has not fought an elite fighter. I mean, he's been talented for a minute, but how many unified championship fights has he had? He hasn't fought the elite fighters. David Benavidez will be the best fighter he's been in the ring with. And Canelo fans may not like what Andrade said about Canelo, but one thing you gotta give him credit for, he did not change who he is. Jermell Charlo wanted to give Canelo a shoulder rub, shine his shoes, and ran the whole fight. And you know what Jermell apologists will tell me? Well, what did you want him to do? Sit there and get knocked out? No, what we wanted him to do, we wanted him to compete. We wanted him to fight. We wanted him to try to win. Not run off with the boxing fans' money and telling us he was daring to be great and begging to get in the Hall of Fame. Regardless what Demetrius Andrade and David Benavidez is telling us, they do want the Canelo fight next. And the winner should get Canelo next. But that doesn't mean it's gonna happen. I think the only way Andrade could win this fight is to knock out Benavidez. Benavidez is clearly the house fighter, but I don't think it's gonna come down to that. I think Benavidez wins this fight fair and square, and I think he stops Andrade late. But for some reason, if Andrade happens to win the fight, I don't know if Canelo gives him a shot. Anyway, who should Bud fight next? And what do you think about Demetrius Andrade's comments? Leave your thoughts in comments below. Jay Beezy, I'm gone.